welcome back to another exciting episode. Vegas Views, Dawn Sullivan and Jason. How are you, Jason?
I am fantastic.
Good.
It's
I
wild
think
to be
Jason.
here.
I think Jason's giggling because I finally said his last name right. I know Jason.
That's exactly right.
Yeah. Did you giggle? Did
Yeah.
I say- okay. It's Ha, but it's an interesting last name. I never heard it. How do you spell it?
Hawe.
Hawe. Okay. I think I
And
have
it's
a
not
hard.
how. It's not Howie or
it's-
Hawi.
Ha.
Ha.
I think I have a hard time with it because I have a hard time with W's because I'm from New York. So, guys, today we're going to talk about a lot of different topics. We have a guest. He'll be on in just a second with us. But, Jason, I wanted to talk to you about a couple of things here in Vegas. The talent. Things are going crazy
It's
in the
hot.
industry. It's hot,
It's
right,
hot
now.
right now.
Yeah, so we have done, in the last, I'm going to say, 2-3 weeks, 4 to 5 different auditions. We got producers coming in. There's so much going on in the business. Tell me how you feel about this.
You know, it's crazy. The action is really picking up.
Yeah.
It reminds me of years ago
Okay.
when I was a musician. I traveled to Hollywood, but I was a day late and $1 short because I got
Okay.
there in '92.
Okay.
And the scene, all the A&R guys, all of the heat, all of the attention had shifted to Seattle.
Okay.
I left Denver to go to that, to seek that out. Well, that didn't happen. Well, the same thing started percolating in Denver, Colorado.
Yeah.
The clubs and the A&R guys and the reps. And that's what it feels like here now.
Yeah.
It feels like there's more attention, more activity, more focus, more people popping up that are seeking us out. So it's getting hot.
Absolutely. So cool for me. I've been out in Las Vegas since 2008, and it has always been pretty good. You can always book models on live shows. There's a lot going on, but for the actors themselves, this is the best I've ever seen it. It's left and right commercial work. There's just a lot going on
It
right
really
now.
is,
So
yeah.
guys, studio audience, if you are interested in any kind of modeling or acting or anything like that, Vegas is getting to a place where, yeah, I'm like proud. I used to, like 10 years ago, I used to be like, yeah, I'm booking out of Vegas. And then now, like, it was one of the worst markets,
Right.
but only convenient because it's close to LA. And now I feel like, yeah, we're booking left and right.
Now we don't necessarily have to make that trip as
Well,
much.
you know,
there,
a lot of people have moved from California to here in the last couple of years, too.
Painfully true, yes.
Yes. Yeah.
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 It's made things, interesting. It's kind of shifted, especially out on the roads there.
I
I've ranted
hope our-
before.
I hope our guest isn't from California because I'm about to be like, you ruined our. you
I
ruined
try
our
not
real
to take
estate
too many
market
shots.
completely.
Now, I have in the past taken more than a few shots at California. And
Yeah.
all right, for now, I will set that aside.
Yeah.
The scene, again, though, but it's happening here.
Where have
There's
you
so
lived
much.
in California? I've never lived in California. I've been all over California, but I've never lived.
Well, when I was a little kid, I
Yeah.
lived in Lodi, California, just outside of Sacramento, where
Okay.
Bartles and James was invented.
Wow.
Was in Lodi.
Okay,
Yeah,
very
so
cool.
I loved it. Absolutely loved it, but I was like 7 years old.
Okay.
Okay, so I didn't know for nothing.
Yeah.
And then when I was 18, I went to Hollywood. Absolutely loved it. Hollyweird was freaking
But
awesome.
was it different Hollywood than the Hollywood we know now? It's so different, right?
Well, all of the state is different.
Yeah.
Everything that's taken over, the sensibilities, the liberal nonsense,
Yeah.
the just everything, with all the immigration stuff, all of that.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if it was because Arnold was in charge for a
Yeah.
little while, and I don't think so, because he was a little bit more conservative
Yeah.
than the rest of them.
Yeah.
I just think the coasts, no offense, Miss New York here, but both ends of the country have lost their goddamn minds.
Yeah.
California, New York,
Yeah.
all of their legislation, all of their trends, all their, it's nuts.
Yeah.
So, California, it's beautiful.
Yeah.
It's expensive, and they've lost their ever-loving mind.
Yeah, and
So-
then a lot of them are here now. I actually was in LA January when I just did the International Model and Talent Association.
I just missed that one.
And when you just missed that one, and I literally, when we were at that hotel, we were there for 8 days, and walking the streets, I was like, this is not. And now I'm from New York, and I'm a tough person. Things like that don't bother me. I'll walk around any hood, any ghetto, I'm fine. But I was like, this is wild. Like, infestation of like fentanyl in the streets. I'm watching
Right.
this go down. People standing in front of Target, like doing. I'm like, this is like something I've never really seen in Los Angeles before. And then New York, with all the migrants on the streets, all the things going on there, it's almost like, wow, our two major populated cities in this country are going to,
What
It's
what
kinda
people are getting a hold of,
intimidating.
what's getting in their
Mhm.
heads is staggering.
Yeah,
Just
and in our business too, in the entertainment business as well.
right.
Yeah, it's as far as like from an agent standpoint, I have to sift through who I want to even work with too. For me, when I book somebody out, I have to make sure not only do I get along with that person, not only are they going to be a good representation of who I am and say yes, Dawn Sullivan represents me. Vice versa, I will be a good representation to
Right,
them
of
as
course.
well. But if they're out doing these crazy things and then I introduce them to someone, that's my name.
Yeah.
So I'm very selective, very selective.
And now, just like any corporate entity, when everybody goes on their social media
Sure.
and then just vomits from
Sure.
their mouth
Yeah.
on things,
That's funny.
You pay the
have
price
to
for
tell,
that, too.
I want to tell a story because this is a cute little story. I don't want to embarrass the gentleman that I'm going to tell the story about, but he'll know who I'm talking about. So there was a young male model, and he's fairly new to me. At the time, he's not new to me anymore, but at the time he was fairly new to me. And he goes, and I'm friends with everyone on social media. My platform is huge.
hugely active.
Hugely active, and it reads, if you're an overweight man at the mall walking around with your stomach hanging over your pants and bashing this, and then he goes, I'm just the elite, I'm the 1%.
Oh Lord.
So I text him and I said, hey, do me a favor, buddy, take that shit down. I said, I cannot represent you if you're knocking, pretty much, no offense to everybody in the industry, but 95% of the guys ready to hire him in production look like that.
Right.
I'm like, so stop. Not everyone has, in their 60s, they're going to have
That's
six-pack
not
abs
making
like
any
you.
friends.
25-year-old, you're not making any friends. Exactly.
Right.
So he took it down and we laughed till this day. And he goes, well, I was just trying to give my opinion. I said, well, as I represent you, stop giving your opinion.
Right?
'Cause
Yeah,
we're
no.
all
You're pretty.
opinionated.
You're pretty when you keep your mouth
Yeah,
shut.
yeah, just take the pictures, walk the runway and move on. It's offensive, but
yeah.
we do all this day and age have to be careful what we say. That
yeah.
to me, I have a hard time with that. I don't know if that's because I'm from New York, but in our business especially, now with a lot of the stuff going on, do you hear what's going on in entertainment news right now about, you know who P. Diddy is?
Okay.
You know what's going on with
I
him?
thought I
All
caught
those
something on
crazy
the latest accusations.
allegations.
Yeah.
Yep. There's a ton going on there, and our industry, whether it be because we're connected,
Of course.
movies, TV, film, commercial, print, all of it's connected in one way or another, and all the agents kind of run
Yeah.
together as well. And there's always going to be a lot of inside stuff that happens, but this is wild.
More ugliness.
ugly.
You know, every year or two. I mean, I'm still waiting for some charges against Marilyn Manson.
Do you know that story? I know that story.
It's horrendous. He's
Yeah.
from what all accounts, he's
Yeah.
every bit the monster that he made us think he was in his
Yeah.
act.
Well, that's it. He created a monster.
And he told
was
us
the
all.
monster. He told us
And
all.
we just thought, oh, what a nice performance. Not
Yeah.
he's playing pretend.
Yeah.
Maybe not. Maybe
Yeah.
he really is that sick and twisted.
Yeah. Last night, I actually, I still don't give up my murder stuff. I love watching all my crime, but now to get
People
back
are
into crime.
pretty hooked on
I
that.
love it. I love it. But I was watching one of the Playboy murders, and I was thinking to myself, these girls and the stuff they were doing with like Hugh Hefner and all that stuff back then in the industry and all the actors
yeah.
and the models that were around, if that happened this day and age, it would be shut down. Hugh Hefner would be in jail. For half the
It
things
never
that
would have
are-
got
it
off
would
the
have been-
ground.
and
Never
half-
would have got.
Right,
I mean,
half the celebrities that were there at the Bunny House would have never been there, or
yeah, and yeah, 20% of Hollywood that frequented that.
Absolutely.
And all their stories
Yeah.
that they don't want. I mean, the size 0 skeletons in the
Yeah.
closets there
Yeah.
are staggering. And
Absolutely, I agree.
so, no,
but
yeah.
do you notice as the years go by, we're hearing tidbits of people that we never would have thought.
Right.
Like things we would have never thought. And by any means, we are not saying that any of these allegations are true. We know nothing as far as these allegations. There's nothing legal behind what we're saying. We're giving you guys opinions.
Yeah, right now,
Yeah.
there still have not been charges filed against Marilyn
and-
Manson,
right,
for example.
right.
There's been a lot of stories. There's civil actions being pending and all.
Yeah.
But
I mean, there's
we
lawsuits
still don't know.
and lawsuits against everyone. You know who gets hit hard too? And I think he's not in jail. Kevin Spacey. He got hit hard on a little boy accusation. So we don't know. We never know.
No, and I mean, I've always said, sort of just as an outsider, growing
Yeah.
like through high school,
Sure.
theater people are weird.
Yeah.
They were the strange ones. They're well, all right. Those are the ones that are
Yeah.
now in Hollywood that
Yeah.
are, and there's for every segment of population, there's twisted ones and there's sick fucks
Absolutely.
as well.
Jason, I agree 100%, but I see new talent every single week until I build my full roster. And let me tell you, actors and models are different breeds of human beings. Creatives, they're different. They're not, I'm not saying they're
That's
all
true.
out running around doing crazy shit.
Just as a creative.
Just
I
as a
get
creative. They're
that.
very different in society. They're very different. So
And that's
do
not
that.
for better or for worse.
Right.
They are just,
They're just
creatively
different.
speaking,
No, sometimes
they think differently.
I'm going to pop
and that-
off. Sometimes they're worse. They're
That's an
nuts.
amazing thing. That also, and it's the same thing in addiction and all as well.
Yeah.
Those creatives,
Yeah.
they're prone to that. I experienced that as
Yeah.
well. So, yeah, they are a different mindset already.
Yeah.
And then you add into that how they respond to different things,
And what we're doing in
and
the
now
industry.
you get every other month there's
Yeah.
another story about somebody who did something twisted,
Yeah.
something inappropriate.
Mhm.
Bill Cosby, for crying out loud.
See, I've got to be so honest with you about that one. Like, oh God,
Right,
in
it's
this
tough.
show, they always think I hate women. I don't hate women. Okay, this is the thing. I understand being a young person, possibly in the entertainment business. I've been in the entertainment business since I'm 15 years old. It was my very first commercial that I did personally. Not
Yeah.
many people know that about me, but
Gotta find that commercial.
I have it.
We're gonna, yeah,
I have.
okay.
I still have the you know what? I don't care about what the other kids wear, and I don't care about what's supposed to be cool, because I finally found the clothes I like best. They're so comfortable. They always look great. There's only one place you can get them, the Gap. See, I don't need a lot of clothes, just the right ones. All right, there you go. You
And
saw it.
see, that is incredible, folks.
45 years later.
That was amazing.
Thank you. I could still always pull that
Just
one out of my
right
ass.
out.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyway, after that, deciding that that's not the path I was taking, and I was always better off behind the scenes. Always. I love teaching. I love being behind the scenes. I love propelling careers in the right direction, the whole nine. But what was I saying before that?
We're talking about the young women in getting into the
Oh,
industry
Bill
and how
Cosby.
they
Bill Cosby.
fall.
Okay,
Yeah.
so this is the thing I have. I remember back then being that, and I don't know if it's just my personality type or not, but I don't know that it would have been important enough for me to move my career forward to have a man date rape me and not come forward. And it's a lot of them. And I'm not knocking them. Women, please, you know I'm a safe place here. I put up hotlines, like 100%. But you just need to speak out. Like, I know it's hard, but you need to speak out, especially moving forward. So I'm glad nowadays there is the Me Too and everyone's talking about it. But we, as a society in the 90s and 80s, hindered moving forward in the entertainment business by allowing it.
Well, all through the 20th century.
Yes.
The misogyny and the manipulation
Yes,
and the cruelty.
absolutely.
In the music industry,
Yes.
as well as all the other
Yes.
entertainment industry, it was firmly fixed
If you
in
look,
their hands of the powerful men,
Yeah.
and they could do what they wanted
Absolutely.
with who they wanted.
yeah, and that's how you became famous. Sleep with so and so, and this is what's going to happen. But you know what?
That almost happened to me.
Tell me,
My time in Hollywood.
really,
Yep.
man or woman?
It was a man.
Okay,
It was what if I should use his name?
don't do it.
No, I'm not
Don't
going to
do
use
it.
his name, but he was a producer.
Okay.
And he found me on Hollywood Boulevard, and I
Okay.
was still full on hairband rocker look.
Okay.
I was crushing it.
Sure.
And he found me and he started pitching me. He started telling me he was looking for this John Lennon, Brian Epstein sort of collaboration.
Okay.
And I didn't quite. I heard of it. I knew about the Beatles and John,
Sure.
and I've heard Brian Epstein, but I didn't know what he meant.
Yeah.
So he's like, all right, well, and I saw his BMW and had monogram plate. He said, well, we're gonna do lunch.
Sure.
So I'm gonna call me up. We'll do lunch. And I was like, I'm an 18-year-old kid. I'm like, I'm gonna do lunch.
Yeah.
All right. I'm in Hollywood now.
It's like the first time you're doing lunch.
Right. So
I love that for you.
So I meet up with him the next day, and we go to a place. I think it's in Brentwood, and he starts telling me, what he does and who he's worked with and what his ideas are, and he's sort of just kind of drip feeding me the story of
Sure.
John Lennon and Brian Epstein. Now, do you know the story
No.
of the two of them?
I
All right.
don't.
Brian Epstein was a manager, a mentor,
Okay.
of the band, and particularly John Lennon. Okay, we'll come back to the rest of that.
Sure.
all right, so all right, we do lunch. That's cool. And now he takes me. He's going to take me back to Beverly Hills. We stop at a grocery store.
Sure.
The grocery store in Beverly Hills where there's valet parking in the front of
Yeah.
it. It's this is Hollywood.
Yeah.
And we get back to his place, and I see some gold records on the wall. He's telling me he's going to make VIP reservations for this new club that just opened. I'm going to meet this producer. We're going to go to this Hollywood party that night. Then we're going to fly to England.
So your
And
18-year-old self was like, oh, I'm
my
in
head's
here. I
spinning.
just
I'm
made
like,
it.
this
Yeah,
is
yeah,
it.
Yeah.
And as he explains the details of the story with John Lennon and Brian Epstein, there was a homosexual infatuation on Brian Epstein's part. And there was a at least suspected relationship of
Sure.
sorts, a little bit of that.
Sure.
And that's when he grabs me.
Yeah.
And that's when he says, if I was going to be his CB, as in cockboy.
Can we say that? Shit. All right, we're okay. We have a 3-second delay.
It's a name, it's a label, it's an expression.
Okay.
And that's when it dawns on, this is what this is all
Yeah.
about. And I literally, though, I mean, I saw the tickets, I saw the records,
Yeah.
I saw everything else. So I had everything I wanted on
Yeah.
a silver platter
Yeah.
if I'd have just gone along for a little while.
Yeah.
Well, I told him that I had to step out, and there was another grocery bag in the car, and I ran from Beverly Hills all the way to North Hollywood.
And you were done.
That was it.
See, that's the thing. And but I want to go back to this. I don't want anybody out there to feel like I'm judging by any means. I just am glad, I should say now, that the Me Too movement is here, and that
Right.
more people should have done what you did and kept themselves safe. And
It's not easy.
I do commend everyone that did come out and say these things. The people that are coming out now and saying the truth and really what happened to them, because it helps the next generation to be able to feel comfortable enough to do that, and not to live with all of this inside of them. So I didn't want
That's
to
true.
make it like I'm coming off like, oh, you should have said something.
No.
But I will be honest, the
It is
Cosby
so
thing,
hard.
the Cosby thing, I guess, like it took one strong person to make another strong person to make another
It
strong
does.
person.
It
But
does.
I just wonder.
Especially someone like that, so powerful, so revered, who is going to believe the first person that speaks up? Not a
I
chance.
don't know. See, that's the thing. I don't know. Maybe like,
It took more
yeah.
than
it
that.
took
But
more.
again,
Absolutely.
staggering. It's
Yeah.
like, this guy, the pudding pop guy, America's favorite dad.
Favorite dad and grandpa. He was such a grandpa. Yeah.
So every other time we turn around,
Yeah.
one of those greats,
Yeah.
one of those is turned ugly. We
Yeah.
see the other side. It's
When
heartbreaking.
we come back after this commercial, because I think we have to take a commercial in a second, I just do want to talk about defamation of character, though, because there are a lot of things going on now that
Mm-hmm.
people are being accused of that are just, whether they're true or not, and you have to have some proof. They have some video out viral right now on all these young impressionable minds of P. Diddy and Meek Mill. Do you know who that is?
That one I don't know.
Okay. And it's them supposedly having sex, and it's supposedly a live recording. I don't believe that would be that exposed. It would be on the news. There would be a lot more. I think Diddy would be in cuffs. There's a lot going on
Yeah,
there.
the vindictiveness is one thing.
That's what I mean.
You know, and
Yeah.
all of that is so easy to slander and so easy to throw.
It is.
Sling
And
mud.
it's easy to form an opinion because you know what? You get one person that says, oh yeah, Chris Brown did this, 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 and this.
Right.
And you know what I'm saying? And everyone hops on that same bandwagon. And it is,
In social media now, and the way
Yeah.
information is just virally spread,
well, the cancel culture.
it's all
It's
a matter. And I
ridiculous.
said this on a few other subjects. It's now that people are replacing facts with, I know a guy who saw a thing.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
know somebody who knew
knows
somebody
who
who
did-
heard something
Yeah.
or did something.
Yeah.
And people are now holding that up as fact.
I will tell you something that I'm finding, and I don't know if anyone would agree with me on this, but a lot of young kids that are on TikTok a lot, I don't know if it's levels of delusion, but they are all conspiracists. I work with a lot of
Completely.
the young people, and these kids are saying, but what if 9/11 didn't happen? And I said, oh, wait, 9/11 didn't happen. I'm from New York. I was there. I watched the building fall. I had dust on me. 9/11 happened. But some people say it never really happened. That the history books made it up. There's a lot going
It's
on
true.
there. And
I've said
and
before,
it's kind of
too.
wacky. It's like, come
Yeah.
on.
People's let their imagination overtake,
Override
and
the
there's
reality.
no
Yeah.
separation. They cannot distinguish any longer between what's something they've experienced or observed and what's real and what's factual,
To me, that's terrifying.
and what they've imagined hypothetically.
That's
and,
so scary
yeah.
because that leads back to their actions. I can talk to
Yeah,
you forever.
and
Hold
all the
on.
conspiracies and all of the other rest.
Uh-huh.
Okay, now we want to get back to Hollywood, which is all about another good kind of imagination.
Sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Guys, after this commercial break, we're going to bring on our guest. You're not going to want to miss this. We'll be right back.
Are you looking to record or film your podcast? We have the sound room and all necessary equipment you need. Contact us for pricing and to schedule your tour.
Traditional TV is going away. Hollywood is starting to fade. People are demanding real stories from real people. Our voices are now being heard in our own way. Podcasts, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and TikTok Live are becoming the norm. Internet TV has now reached the highest demand in human history. Social media shows is now the new media of the century.
Hello, everyone. This is Joseph Skoda with Social Media Shows. Well, I thank all of you for your support through these last several years, and it's been a lot of fun. We've given people a voice they never had before. Now, Social Media Shows is always collaborating with our veterans to help them do things and help out the veterans who are struggling today. And we teamed up with GI Connections, connecting veterans with resources. So please consider helping and donating to this great cause because we're always doing things for veterans. So GI Connections, Social Media Shows, and you is what makes the world a better place. Once again, Joseph Skoda, proud United States Air Force veteran. Hello, everyone. This is Joseph Skoda with Social Media Shows. Well, I thank all of you for your support through these last several years, and it's been a lot of fun. We've given people a voice they never had before. Now, Social Media Shows is always collaborating with our veterans to help them do things and help out the veterans who are struggling today. And we teamed up with GI Connections, connecting veterans with resources. So please consider helping and donating to this great cause because we're always doing things for veterans. So GI Connections, Social Media Shows, and you is what makes the world a better place. Once again, Joseph Skoda, proud United States Air Force veteran. Hello, everyone. This is Joseph Skoda with Social Media Shows. Well, I thank all of you for your support through these last several years, and it's been a lot of fun. We've given people a voice they never had before. Now, Social Media Shows is always collaborating with our veterans to help them do things and help out the veterans who are struggling today. And we teamed up with GI Connections, connecting veterans with resources. So please consider helping and donating to this great cause because we're always doing things for veterans. So GI Connections, Social Media Shows, and you is what makes the world a better place. Once again, Joseph Skoda, proud United States Air Force veteran. Hello, everyone. This is Joseph Skoda with Social Media Shows. Well, I thank all of you for your support through these last several years, and it's been a lot of fun. We've given people a voice they never had before. Now, Social Media Shows is always collaborating with our veterans to help them do things and help out the veterans who are struggling today. And we teamed up with GI Connections, connecting veterans with resources. So please consider helping and donating to this great cause because we're always doing things for veterans. So GI Connections, Social Media Shows, and you is what makes the world a better place. Once again, Joseph Skoda, proud United States Air Force veteran. Hello, everyone. This is Joseph Skoda with Social Media Shows. Well, I thank all of you for your support through these last several years, and it's been a lot of fun. We've given people a voice they never had before. Now, Social Media Shows is always collaborating with our veterans to help them do things and help out the veterans who are struggling today. And we teamed up with GI Connections, connecting veterans with resources. So please consider helping and donating to this great cause because we're always doing things for veterans. The GI Connections, social media shows, and you is what makes the world a better place. Once again, Joseph Skoda, proud United States Air Force veteran.
And welcome back. I'm Jason Ha, and I am thrilled to be here on Vegas Views with Don Sullivan. And we have a special guest here today. This is Paul Michael Bear, an prominent, active person here in the industry. That's what we're getting back to. And I do want to say, too, I was a little remiss when I said we're getting back to Hollywood and talking about that stuff. Because you know what? This is Vegas. And Vegas is replacing Hollywood. That's the idea. That's the point.
That's what they say.
Hollywood, it's colloquially known as, all right, entertainment movie, blah, 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 La La Land. No.
They're calling Vegas the Hollywood 2.0 at this time. I don't necessarily know how I feel. Now, I know factually, a couple of studios going up locally, which are going to be great for us, but I think we have quite a few years before we're Vegas. Before we're
It'll
Hollywood
take time.
2.0.
But now talking about what we do here,
Yeah.
we don't need to refer to it as more Hollywood. All right?
Yeah.
Forget about that.
Yeah.
And really, we'll jump right in with that. What are your thoughts about Vegas as opposed to what's going on?
Well, I actually have a background. I'm from Midwest. I'm originally from Indiana.
Okay.
I started off this entire industry doing. I was a musician. I was a singer-songwriter.
Excellent.
And I did quite well in Indiana, and I kind of hit a ceiling. So I took my talents to Los Angeles in 2011. Within that time, you go from trying to figure it all. I have the whole story of I moved out there with no car.
Is that true for you?
Yeah, I had $80 to my name, and I don't know how I did it type situation. It's the whole Hollywood story. And I just kind of put one foot in front of the other. Basically, I kind of jumped into this film world on accident.
Okay.
I went out there to do music, but one of the ways that I made money was by doing paid studio audience or doing background.
Sure.
So, and I didn't even know about background until about a year after being there. Like, I worked at Radio Shack as part-time.
Right.
And then someone was like, hey, man, I was doing audience work for, I think, Jerry Springer's show called Baggage.
Okay.
And ducking the chairs and stuff.
No. This was a show that he was hosting. It was like a dating show. And I did that literally to pay the bills. But I was overhearing somebody, and they were like, oh, we were doing background on so-and-so show. And I'm like, hey, what do you do to do that? Oh, you just got to go down and do this. And I was like, all right, cool. So then I jumped in the background, and I'm working 4 or 5 times a week.
Nice.
From 2012 to probably about 2014, I had worked on probably every show that's on TV, and like movies and whatnot.
Can I stop you right there?
Yeah.
Now, I'm a talent agent. I work with a lot of newbies in Las Vegas, and I tell them to work with me, they have to do at least 1 or 2 background just so they can be on set, so they understand what goes into it, because you see a lot, correct? On these extra jobs that you're doing, you see a lot. Do you suggest somebody doing that much extra work? Do you feel like it paid off in your career?
So for me, I have the mentality where I watch everything that's going on.
Sure.
And I was always like, well, I wonder what that would be like to do that, or I want to do this, or I want to do that.
So it opened up your eyes?
I think it's very important for you to get on set in any way that you can, just to kind of, now do I say to put that on your IMDb? No.
Right.
That looks
I'm
bad.
totally in that spot. I barely know what you're talking about with background as it is.
Yeah.
I'm just beginning as an actor.
Yeah.
That's over my head too. So apparently I need to start with that as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know anything.
I mean, anytime you can get on set just to see how everything works, who does what, what's a PA, what's who's a producer, who's a director. There's a lot of people that don't know that producers are in charge and the directors kind of hired talent in a way, right?
Yeah.
No different than being an actor. Sure. So a lot of times people get that confused that the director's
who's the boss?
Director is a boss. I'm not gonna ever take that away.
Absolutely, yeah.
But people don't know like the hierarchy, right? Executive producer, your line producers, directed, that type of situation, and it helps you kind of get an understanding of how that all works.
So would you say that it gave you like a respect for the business and understanding where people, like, let's say for instance somebody just went on an audition, luckily got that one role, they don't have all that experience, so you have to understand how chain of command goes, how everything goes with filming. So I'm going to suggest, guys, I'm changing it up a little bit. Do some more background, do some more extra, because I tell them the thing for me here in Vegas is I don't want them to get sucked up into that in Las Vegas. Does that make sense to you? To just consistently make themselves a background. If you're busy doing background work constantly,
You can't
You-
really devote
yeah.
any time to the other.
to the other,
It's a double-edged sword though, right?
Yeah.
Because once you do background for something, you can't necessarily, if it's a TV show,
Sure.
then you necessarily can't be booked onto that TV show, right?
That's kind of my yeah.
Right. So I mean, if you can get on a movie,
Yeah.
especially here in Vegas, then
Sure.
that's like a one-off.
Yeah.
I mean, I even did background on a Mark Wahlberg movie.
Yeah.
And I retired from doing background, but
Yeah.
it was more to be like, okay, what's this Vegas scene looking like?
Sure.
So I went and did the one that just came out on
I know,
Netflix.
yeah.
Where I,
You shot in February. It was the February.
Yeah,
shoot.
last year.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I did that, and really it's because I actually had some connections within that world as well,
Sure.
anyways. So I just kind of wanted to shake some hands and say, hey, I'm here.
Yeah.
Because to go back on, to kind of go forward onto how I got to Vegas. So I ended up doing some really cool stuff with music as well. I went on tour in 2014 with Jody Watley as Shalimar.
Oh, no kidding.
So
I love Jody
heck
Watley.
yeah.
I just have to ask real quick because I heard Jody Watley. Want me? Don't you want
Yeah,
me? Is that
yeah,
Jody Watley?
yeah,
that's the one I heard
know
too.
my music.
Yeah,
so
I heard
okay.
that in my head
yeah,
too.
'cause he
Yeah.
said it. I thought, oh, I love her.
yeah,
Is
so
she still so cool?
yeah, I mean, I'll always be. I'll always have all kinds of love for her and for her bringing me on the road and
Yeah.
teaching me, the ropes and whatnot. So I did that in 2014, where I did all the Howard Hewitt's parts for Shalimar. It was a segment of it.
Yeah.
Then I took that and
Dancing in the Sheets.
Dancing in the Sheets.
Yeah. Yeah.
Shalimar.
Jody. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that now.
There you go. So after that, I came out with my own album. And did some things as a single artist, and then I kind of hung up the music thing and started jumping into visual arts.
Okay.
Did you do music videos? Obviously,
I
that
did
would
do a
be
music
a
video.
transition
I do
that
have a
you would
music
think,
video. I never wanted to. Now, on the other side of that is I didn't want to be. I had a lot of friends that have been stuck in the music video world once
Sure.
they got into
Okay.
producing music videos.
Yep.
Sure.
There's really great talent out there that do music videos that it's hard for them to transition from being a director to this and being a director to a
Yep.
big huge
Any
movie
feature, yeah.
because for some reason they're just put in this box. So I kind of
Seems
swayed
like Hollywood
away.
likes boxes.
I kind of
Well,
swayed
it's
away.
common in the
Yeah.
business. Yeah. If you get caught up in one niche, they
Any
get
one
into-
thing.
Yep.
That's all they see. That's
They
all
kind of
they
Yeah.
know you for that.
No
type of
imagination
situation.
when it comes to branching out. Yeah.
Well, it's numbers. It's a numbers game.
Sure.
We have to seek to understand before being understood on certain things, right? Because like we can take offense to that type of stuff, or we can be like, well, they don't have the ideology that I have, but they know numbers, and that's all they go off of is this made this many numbers. That's why we have so many remakes. That's why we
Yeah.
have so many different things
Reboots
because
and
If
all
it
that.
worked once, well,
exactly like
Yeah.
fashion.
yeah.
Bell bottoms will be out again.
Yeah.
These type. And you're actually kind of seeing it on the red carpet. These
Oh, yeah.
guys, if you watch the Oscars, they have more of a wide leg on the bottom. It's coming back again.
Yeah.
Well, that's actually my specialty. I work with more so. I started my career in modeling first. Well, not in modeling, but booking models first. So I have to stay up with my fashion. I have to know what's coming next. And I love how fashion's epically changing. We're coming up. My belief is to 2025 to 2026. We're going to do a fast, quick through in the 80s. So the neon's coming back, the plastic shoes. Do you remember? You've seen them. Yeah,
Pegging the
right, but-
jeans and the
yeah,
sleeves
weirdness
and things
like that. I
that.
think that's going to run through us quite about 6 to 8 months. It's going to be like a hype thing, and then I think we're going straight back into the 90s. And they're still doing like little 90s now, but I mean hardcore 90s. That's just what I think we're going with fashion. If you read
Hopefully,
the runways.
hopefully not the sneakers though.
didn't like
I said
that.
oh, the louder, more so. It was the year of ugly shoes back
What?
in the like 96, 98.
What?
It was
No,
like-
they're Nikes.
They
Wait a second.
They were so
Not
good.
Nike.
We're talking about Jordans and Air Maxes
Oh
right
my
now.
God.
Not
97?
only the ones
I
that
love
went
97.
beyond, and they started getting all these like animal prints and colors and things. They started just jumbling everything up. Now
Might have
Where
been
were
early
you back then?
2000s.
Where were you back then?
Let's see here. I was 90 after 92, 93, 94. I was traveling the country. I was on the
So
road.
you were all over the place.
Selling. Yeah. I was a
Okay.
traveling salesman for a while there.
Okay.
So
I was in New York City, and the '90s I think had the most epic sneakers and shoes.
they got so loud and so crazy, and I'm just like, I don't want that.
You might
on
be
my feet.
confusing with the early 2000s
I
because fashion in the
disagree
early
with you.
2000s was
Was that okay? You know,
It was a little wild.
like,
now that I'm-
especially in my community, like
As I've gotten
more-
older.
in my
Where
community
were
was
you back then?
So I grew up in more urban areas, so we had really long T-shirts and and
Okay,
shorts
yeah.
down to here.
Right, the
like
long
it was like,
shorts,
ah.
yeah.
That's in New York.
Like there was a lot of
So,
that.
all right, I will admit, okay, as I'm getting older, I'm 50 years old now, all right, believe it or not, but everything now seems like all truncated. It's like the 80s and the 90s and everything, and so years and time, it's all just one mashed up memory now.
Time's an
so
illusion anyways, right?
I don't, yeah,
That's-
so
yeah.
I could be completely wrong, so, yeah.
So
The shoes, yeah, enough about the
Sorry.
shoes.
well, back on track here. So music, and then I started transferring over into the film industry. So I started off as a PA. I mean, I started off with background, then PA.
Fetching coffee or whatever is, you know.
Well, I ended up working on this show called King of the Nerds, which was pretty cool. It was like a little reality show, and
Okay,
it was hosted by two of the guys from Revenge of the Nerds. And it was a really cool little show or whatever.
Yeah.
I learned a lot from that.
I kind of remember that.
Yeah, and then I started moving on to other, because every time I'm on set, I'm like, who's that person? And could I do that job, right? So then fast
That's
forward.
a great mentality
Yeah.
to have for anybody who's in the middle of any. You're learning. You're asking.
Absolutely.
You're seeking out. Find. Yeah. No.
Always
just learn.
be pushing to
Yeah.
do more than you were before. I mean,
That's-
that's if that's what you want to be,
Yeah.
then I've always had visions of being more. But there's a slippery slope because you got to find gratitude in the moment too,
Yeah.
which is it's a hard part for me. I was actually filling out a resume about a week ago for this grant, and it was until then where I started writing down all my accolades that I was like, oh wow, I
I've
didn't
done
even
a lot.
realize that I've done some things.
Proud.
Because I'm
Grateful.
always like, well, okay, well, what's next?
Yeah.
When like Indiana, Paul Michael would have been like, that's insane, bro.
Yeah.
Like, kind of like, I mean,
That's
people
amazing.
treated me like that when I was doing background even. They were
Yeah.
like, man, I just saw you in the background of, what did I do? I did, what's that really, the nerd show? The big one.
Big Bang Theory.
Big Bang Theory.
Yeah.
So I just saw you in the Big Bang. That's crazy, man. And I worked on a lot of different things. So I got to remember these moments that like, and just be in those moments and find gratitude. But fast forward, I ended up doing some first AD. I ended up writing my own stuff because I got tired of waiting for writers to get
Sure.
together. So I taught myself Final Draft and started writing my own stuff. I started working with other producers, and then I produced my first pilot. I did my first short films, and then also I started doing acting. And I went out on all kinds of auditions.
Tell me about the experience when you first started acting. You seem like, I love the go-getter in you. You seem like you will tap into anything that
Incredible,
interests you, and you will succeed, and you will do that. Was it hard for you when you first started acting? Because acting is a breed of its own.
Well, this is the problem, right? So my very first audition, my very first theatrical audition, right? I was for Lethal Weapon, and I booked it. So the very first time, and I booked it was like, well, here's the thing,
That's
right?
gonna have
So
you messed up forever.
right, so
Oh, man.
the Aries in me,
Yeah.
I was like, got this.
This is
Yeah.
how it's
You
supposed
know
to
what I
work.
mean?
I'm just, yeah.
Because it's in the audition room it's in the same place that they do all the Marvel stuff. It's in
Yeah.
Sarah, forget her, Sarah Finn.
Uh-huh.
It's in her office as well. That does and I actually auditioned for Captain Marvel and got a call back for that too. I've done all these different auditions.
One question. I don't
Yep.
want to sidetrack you, but just because a lot of the people working with me in my talent watch this. Any kind of acting classes with this, or this is natural to you?
No, I went to
you
acting
did.
classes
Okay,
for
where
sure.
did you take classes?
At
in
the
LA?
time, in LA.
In LA.
I took Dustin Felder.
I know who he is.
R.I.P. to Dustin
Uh-huh.
Felder, one of my favorite people in this world.
Yeah.
Sucks that we lost him. And then Barry Papick.
Okay.
Barry Papick is phenomenal. He's worked with Jamie Foxx on Ray. He's
Yeah.
worked with a lot of different people. And he's got a really amazing method. I mean, and also, I mean, I kind of do some coaching on the side if you have any students and stuff like that.
Oh, absolutely.
I can definitely,
Yeah.
shameless plug. I can definitely help out with that. But I just love to give back and help anyways. I'm not going to kill their pockets or anything like that. So yeah, I ended up, I had Narcos. I've done so many different auditions. But I had like 6 back-to-back auditions for Young and the Restless, and that thing.
Yeah.
Those auditions are 13 pages. They give them to you at like 8 p.m. at
I'm
night.
that old that I know that and I watch it.
Soap opera auditions are literally wash, rinse, repeat. Then.
So the reason why they do that with soap opera, well, my thought process of it is, I have a friend that's actually was actually on a soap opera, and they'll come in on the day and have like 13 pages that are different than what they saw. Okay. So they want to make sure people can do that really quickly.
Really quick.
So I got it at like 8 p.m. and my auditions at 12 noon the next day. I'm up all night.
I have
just
so
trying to
much
learn
respect for people that are in soap operas. So much.
Oh,
it's a different type of acting as well.
That is
it
really
is a
shocking.
different type
Oh
of
my
acting.
goodness, yeah.
You have to be and very quickly learn to be a seasoned actor and pick that up and smart.
Yeah, because
they don't have any
they're doing
dummies
10
doing
episodes a week.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's
That's
a
hard
lot. But long story short, I got tired of going to hundreds of auditions and only booking like 1 or 2 here and there. So I said, okay, well, let's create my own path. So then I helped create, produce, directed, and started my first short film called Finding Home.
I love it.
About a homeless man trying to find home in a different way. So basically this home, I took the ideology of the person that would point fingers at a homeless person the most and be like, oh, get a job, bum. How can I make that person homeless? And basically, one thing I found in business is that being present is very hard while being successful, especially if you have a family. So this man had a wife and a kid, and he's always on his phone. He's always doing business. It's always one more thing. 1 second I'll be over there. And one day after leaving the park and him not being present, he gets in a car accident and loses his wife and his daughter. So now what does that do to you mentally? So he finds himself having these the last conversations over and over again with her while he gets drunk, and he finds home through going to this bar every day and getting drunk and talking to himself. From a distance, it's actually really cool. So what we wanted to do is show from a distance how someone might be talking to themselves and whatever.
Yeah.
Like, what are they? But every time we came closer, you saw he was talking to his wife and having that conversation over and over again. But anyways, I did that.
You wrote that?
So I didn't write that one. I helped create it though. I had the idea.
That was your idea. I love
and
that.
That's
Yeah.
amazing.
Ashley
I love
LeRae
that,
was the one that actually wrote it, and she executive produced it as well. She believed in the vision.
I love
And that went to film festivals. Then we started doing some other things. So fast forward now, all the way now, I just got done producing and was a lead in a feature film that we just did out in Utah. But the reason why I came to Vegas, I actually came to Vegas about 6 months before Mark Wahlberg did, because I was coming out here with my lady all the time. Her family lives here, and I just kept on looking around at the scene, and I said, this is like a huge entertainment capital, right? We think of it as like entertainment, but like. When I'd ask my friends, is there a place that you can go here that have like setups like Coyote Theater does, when it has, you can't find a place that just has like a medical room, a courtroom, a bedroom, where you could just do multiple things in here, right?
Isn't that so weird?
That is.
I have to just stop you.
talking about-
Yesterday we're in my studio, and I'm just a creative mind sometimes. I just go off, and I said to him, well, what we're going to do is build a courtroom, build a this, build it, like just yesterday.
up.
This
Yeah.
is so wild. Yeah.
So I said, well, it's not here. Let's come out here and try to see if there's anything we can do to make it. Because my lady, she does hair, makeup, special effects as well.
Oh, wow.
And she's
That's what we
she's
need out
phenomenal.
here. That is
Yes,
what we need
yes.
in Las
Oh
Vegas.
yeah, so she's phenomenal.
We
by the
lack
way.
that in Las Vegas.
She's-
Don't get me wrong, there are some great makeup artists out there, but the special effects is what we lack, because I tried a couple of times for movies to hire special effects people. I had to get them from LA.
I have an amazing person for you.
Yeah, awesome.
She's
That's so cool.
absolutely amazing.
So
I'll show
cool.
you some of her work after
Yeah.
we.
Oh,
Very
absolutely.
cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, she's Cheyenne Johnson.
Okay.
She's phenomenal. and that's just not me being biased.
Little plug for Cheyenne. Too. Yeah.
I'm hard on everybody's art, you know. So, yeah, we moved out here, and she's done about 10 movies, actually, since she's moved out here. Because, like I said, it's far and in between of what that is. So, we are one of the, transplants from Hollywood, LA.
Sorry, we just said a bunch of shit about you before you came out, Jason.
No, it's okay.
He's not
Here's the
from
thing.
California.
No, here's the thing, though, right? Now that I've been here for almost 3 years, now there's a lot of people coming here, and the traffic's getting bad. I'm like, no one else come out here.
Right? I was the only
Right, yeah.
one.
That's right.
So
That's right.
That's so funny.
So now I'm like,
I'm from New York City originally. I've been out here since '08, but I remember when like the mountains were still the mountains. Now they're all houses. There's like gas stations where there used to just be beautiful mountains and bobcats running.
Yeah.
So it's so different for me, but I've been saying the same thing since I got here. Stop coming to my town. But I really, to be honest, other than some of the criminal activity and some of the migrants and a lot of that stuff that's going on there.
And the psychomotorists.
The psycho.
The driving.
Other than that,
is...
I absolutely love Las Vegas. I rep Las Vegas. People from Vegas are my people. I do. I love Las Vegas.
not just Californians coming here. We got people from Texas, too.
Oh, yeah.
And people from Texas actually is the worst driving I've ever been in because I fear it for my life at all times.
Yeah.
Look, I love people from Texas, but everybody has a truck and everybody is trying to move you off the road.
Right.
But what is that, Paul? I wonder, because is Texas very expensive right now or something? Because I read something that said it was California, Texas,
It's kind of moving around. California is infiltrating Texas because they've actually started calling it the Dalifornication.
Really?
In Dallas,
And
in
now they're
Austin,
pushing everybody here.
especially not. So yeah, California is hidden Texas, so Texas is trying to get away, so they're coming through Colorado. I'm from Colorado too, and we didn't want them there either. But they come through Colorado and then over to Vegas. So it's this great
It's
big
the no
old
state taxes.
swirling
It's
toilet
interstate
bowl
taxes,
of
absolutely.
people moving in where and it's just.
And do you know it is so much cheaper to film here, especially in our business, than it is almost everywhere. It is cheaper to film here. You try to film something in New York right now, forget about it.
Oh, yeah.
So many New Yorkers are moving here too. Like every other day I meet someone and they're like, I'll see like
The studios are needed though because you can only do so much. Now we can go up and when we're scouting and stuff like that. I've been up to Mount Charleston. There's things you can do there. Out in Summerlin, they've got some places that you can make look like anywhere as well.
Sure.
But it's still a hard thing to find because we're in the desert, you know. So that's why the studio push is a huge thing because you still need those. Areas that you can turn into New York, or you could turn.
So what do you think? Like Jason and I were discussing before, the Hollywood 2.0. How long do you think before we're there?
I mean, it's happening. It's happening.
There is the zoning.
The zoning on the 20th.
Oh, yeah,
I think that they're gonna get it zoned. So we're looking at in the next 5 years having the studio, and like they're going to be bringing bringing their things here. So it's going to happen at that point because they have to start making money immediately.
Yeah. One more question I have for you. Thank you for this interview, by the way. there's so much here. I love this.
We need 2 shows. You've done
seriously.
everything you've done, and
Do you think the strike helped or hurt the Las Vegas market?
Well, I don't think it helped anybody at the time.
Sure.
Now, independent producers, if you were on top of your because during that strike, I'm creating I'm creating content to be ready to go for when it's off, right?
Yep.
Instead of my poor me, I can't wait for this thing to be over with.
You're building.
They're gonna need some
You're
stuff,
getting the
right?
jump on things.
So that's why we actually produced something back in November because there's going to be a little bit of gap there where the industry is going to need stuff because things weren't being made, right?
Yeah.
So if you were on top of that, then there's possibly a space there for you to get your content out. So I think it helped the independent artists.
I just feel like Vegas has done so much better since the strike. Not since
there's been a real surge.
There's been a real surge.
Yeah.
Well, a lot of people are coming here and building opportunities. Mark has actually done a lot.
Yes, absolutely.
With him speaking and talking just about like this,
just
what he wants to do
within our community,
here.
what he wants to do here, and although the gathering on what
and
he's
being
doing.
active, like behind the scenes, he's completely very active. I hear people from in the NFL side and like all kinds of he's very active talking to a lot of people trying to bring things here. So I think.
Do you rep his brand, Municipal?
I love Municipal, but I do not.
Okay. I love his brand.
I actually wear a lot of my friends' brands
Okay.
first.
Yeah.
Before
Small business.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So I rep all of my friends. This is one of my friends' brands. You know,
Ooh,
I wear a lot of
I
people.
like that.
Yeah, it's St. James is what
Alright,
it is. So
very cool.
I rep my friends before I rep people I don't know necessarily.
Of course.
Now I have met people on Mark's side or whatever. That's why I was saying I used to work out with them over at F45 and stuff in Sherman Oaks before they came out here as well. So that's why I was like, oh, let me go get on set and shake some hands and say, hey, I'm out here type situation.
So guys, listen to me. I'm talking to all of my talent right now and studio audience. If you guys ever want to act model, get in touch with me, Dawn Sullivan _ But like this Paul just said, I love that. Go out, meet people. Put yourselves in environments where you're going to be near the right people, and you never know where that's going to be. That could be in a gym, right? It could be in a library. You never know. Put yourself where you think you can propel. Instead of sitting in your house saying, oh, let me wait for the agency to call. Let me see what's going on here. Go. Be active. Put yourself out there. That's how it's done.
And ask questions.
Ask questions.
That's what you did constantly was, what do you do? How can I do that? Just everybody's afraid of asking questions,
Absolutely.
especially somebody that they don't
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
Speak up, just ask,
Yeah.
just learn.
And
Yeah.
that's how you'll learn in the business. I love this story. Can we go back though? I have to rewind this because
Yep.
I'm all about like a survival story. I'm all about, I was here. Was it true? You legit drove here. Did you have a place to, not here, LA. Did you have a place to live?
So I didn't have a car. So I moved out. I had $300 to my name. No, $400, and I spent, because it was a last minute situation.
Sure.
I actually came out here March 15th of 2011 for my birthday. My birthday is on the 23rd. So I had it as a gift for me to come out to LA. Fell in love with the place because at the time LA was absolutely gorgeous
And
beautiful.
different than home.
And different than home. Mountains, ocean,
Beautiful,
you know,
yeah.
all this stuff. I could really wrap my brain around
Palm
that,
trees.
and like it made me a better artist just to be in that
Sure.
surrounding. So I was like, you know, I told my friend at the time, I was like, I'm moving out here. He was like, sure you are. I'm like, nah, I'm moving out here in the next 2 weeks. And I moved out on April 12th of 2011, and I had $400. I spent $320 of that on a one-way ticket and 2 bags of clothes.
Good for you.
I thought I had a place to stay
Mm-hmm.
until I got myself on my feet.
Sure.
That ended up being 2 weeks in. That person saying, I guess they didn't take it serious or something.
Sure,
They was like, oh, you
sure.
can come out here and you know.
Yeah.
I was like, all right,
But
cool.
when you did it,
but when I
yeah,
did it,
yeah.
now it's like, oh, okay. Well, when are you going to be able to pay? So I was kind of forced with me and the person I was with at the time because she moved out as well. Forced to kind of get our own place by May 1st, and we were able to do that. But once that happened, it was just overall, like, the next month was just a problem. The next month after
Sure.
that. So,
Yeah.
I
You
mean,
need solid footing.
that relationship didn't work out. So that split happened. Then I was on my own on certain things. I even lived out of my car for a second at one point.
So can
Once
I
you got
ask
home.
you?
Huh?
Can I-
Once you got a car.
Yes,
Yeah.
I ended up getting a car because I had a situation where I was working for a service that drives people around,
Okay.
and you could rent a car at the time. So I was renting that car. I got myself a membership at 24 Hour Fitness, and
Yep.
because there was a
There's your
shower and a
shower.
locker. And I was able to meet people still, and I would, you know, people didn't know, but
Can
I did
I
it for
ask you, are you grateful for that experience?
I'm grateful for every moment because it's only made me a better artist overall.
I love that. Yeah.
And
Absolutely.
it's made the book better. You know, each
Uh-huh.
chapter's been better.
Let's talk about this book. Guys,
Oh.
do we have to take a commercial
Absolutely.
break?
If we've got a little bit of time.
Hopefully we have a little bit of time. You know what, guys? We're going to be right back. We got to hear this. We got to talk about your book.
Right.
On top of everything that he gave us today, he's got a book.
I told you,
This
2
guy
shows.
is awesome.
We just,
We
we're just
love
gonna
you,
keep
Paul.
bringing you back.
Yes,
Yeah.
I know. We're going to need 10
Yeah.
shows from him. We'll be right back with Paul and Jason.
Now on digital and DVD.
Hit it.
Space Wars Quest for the Deep Star is an epic sci-fi adventure.
Do what needs to be done.
An edge of your seat wild ride.
We have company.
Tons of popcorn munching fun. 5 stars. A love letter to the sci-fi films of the 70s and 80s. With plenty of action and fun for all. You need to see it. You really do.
The captain just decided it's time to go.
I am ready for a sequel. Experience a bold new adventure. Space Wars, Quest for the Deep Star.
A good old-fashioned adventure.
Now on digital and DVD. Now on digital and DVD. Space Wars Quest for the Deep Star is an epic sci-fi adventure.
Do what needs to be done.
An edge of your seat wild ride.
We have company.
Tons of popcorn munching fun. 5 stars. A love letter to the sci-fi films of the 70s and 80s. With plenty of action and fun for all. You need to see it. You really do.
The captain just decided it's time to go.
I am ready for a sequel. Experience a bold new adventure.
Welcome back, Vegas Views. I am having the time of my life with you guys today.
Seriously.
Hey, so we have Jason and we have Paul here. Paul just told us a story. If you guys are just tuning in now, when we're done here speaking, go all the way back and watch the whole thing because it was so cool and so epic. A lot to learn. Really good for anybody in the entertainment business. And I
Watch it
love-
on Facebook and watch it again on YouTube because there's a lot of good stuff in there.
And
You're
then
gonna
I
need
will
to see
go,
it a few
I'll
times.
slip it on the Instagram and everything. But I just, the biggest thing I like, Paul, not only have you really just strived for so many different things, it's not like you're one of these people that other people can say, oh, he got everything handed to him. His dad was an actor or something. You literally moved to LA, busted your ass, made your way, jumped into a bunch of different things, learned, educated yourself, made connections, rubbed elbows with the right people, have done all of these things in the business. Guys, this is exactly, I'm lecturing now.
No,
but
it's
anyway,
like-
guys, this is
You know, they say-
exactly what it takes. This is what it takes to be successful in this business. I sit across from about 60 people every single Friday night in my class. And if you ever want to stop by, I'll just text for the address. But, and I let them know that it is what you put into this. And we have this gentleman here, Paul, who has just told us this entire story. It's about you. It's about what you put in. It's about what you're willing to sacrifice, what you're willing to put in, how bad you want it. If you say you're passionate and you want something, go for it. Make it happen for yourself. I did. Paul did. Jason's doing it currently. We have what we want in this world right at our fingertips. You just have to really, really want it and apply yourself and make it happen for yourself. Anyway, I'm done ranting.
And
so
everybody says and sits back and just says it's not what you know, it's who you know. Well, you made it a point to seek them out.
Yeah.
You went out and learned and
Yeah.
met those people and found those people and sought everybody out and you made that who you knew and what you knew. So,
exactly. So
yeah.
success comes from a lot of what you 95% of what you put into it. And also, be a cool person. Be nice. People like nice people.
Big time.
Okay. Yeah. Also, that's another thing. Just be nice. So tell us. So you are working on some sort of a book. What's going on here with this?
A little over a year ago, I lost a friend of a friend after multiple different. So we're dealing with this suicide, right? Okay. I'm just gonna jump into this.
Sure.
So when I was younger, when I was in my teenage years, I was very suicidal, and I just didn't want to be here anymore. There was a lot of things going on in my life personally and things like that.
Sure.
I created a club at school called Morale Club. It's an acronym for Men of Respect, Achievement, Leadership, and Excellence. And what the situation was created for was for those those boys that didn't have a father at home and
Sure.
didn't know how to tie a tie and just didn't have an outreach to someone that was like a big brother type situation.
I love that. So you teach them manners.
That's
you teach
incredible.
them respect. You teach
So there's that, but then also they could talk about anything, and it was an open door policy with the teacher that was the sponsor for it. Like he was
That's so
almost like a
cool.
person that you could come and talk to when there was nobody else to talk to type situation, or myself as the president of the club as well, and me helping other people actually pulled into me as well
Sure.
and helped me continue in this journey. So fast forward into now, that was about 20 years ago in 2003. 2023, you probably heard of him as well when we lost Twitch.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So Twitch was a friend of a lot of my friends.
Okay.
And on that day, I was on the phone with a couple of them that were just completely horrified and like just lost for words. And I was just talking to him, and I couldn't even see this happen. I don't understand, and these type of things. But I could relate, because here's the thing: I could be amazing one day, and I still deal with this. It's
Sure.
a daily fight for me. It's
Sure.
not something that just goes away. I could be great one day, and then the next day I wake up and I'm just like,
Everything is shit.
it's like a chemical imbalance. Like
Sure.
I'm just like, I just need to get through this day. But I have all of these different tools that I go towards to help me pull me out of that. So I said to myself, I need to do something. So I wanted to recreate the Morale Club,
Sure.
but more of on a world stage. So almost like a high school fraternity, if you will.
Yeah.
So the goal is to create this this almost high school fraternity-ish, and then also in the middle school, where we install these clubs in high schools throughout America and beyond that have that same basis and principles that we did back when I was in high school. Because it's not that hard. I don't think so. Back then it was like you have to fill out some paperwork, whatever,
Sure.
to start the club, get a sponsor for it, and then there has to be a president or whatever.
Yeah.
But I could use my fame, because when you're great at something, people idolize that, and you become
Absolutely.
famous. So
Absolutely.
I don't do it for the fame, but what am I going to do with it when it comes to me?
You
Type
have connection, you have influence,
Right, so
then yeah.
this is where I want to use my influence. So the book is actually another part of that. It's just we created a 12-step program. I grew up in a 12-step program.
Okay.
So I know that kind of works when it comes to alcohol and drugs and drug abuse and stuff like that. So I said, how cool would it be to have a 12-step program for kids dealing with
I love that.
mental issues,
Oh my
All of
goodness,
the
I love
challenges
that.
these days,
these type of
identity and
exactly.
everything that's,
So I worked with a gentleman. His name's Dr. Simon, and he specializes in this type of stuff. So we created a 12 steps, and then I actually took those 12 steps, and each chapter of this book is kind of like it shows a little bit more extensions to that.
Yeah.
And then also I personalized it as well, how this step helped me in my
Your
journey
experience
type
Oh,
in
I
your
situation.
life.
love that. So not only do they get the how-to of it, they get the real life story.
Yeah, yeah. So,
Oh, I love
and it's
that.
not a very long book. It's probably
Sure.
like 60 to 70 pages. We're still finalizing it and
Okay.
things like that. And I'm not sure when I want to put this out, or actually,
Sure.
you guys are getting the exclusive right now.
Yeah.
Told
That's us
everybody.
right
I love it. I'm like almost waiting for it to come out. You know me,
That's-
I'm going to be handing it out to every single person that works for me, all of my
Right.
talent. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
So,
love that.
we've been talking to a different
I have to
places
ask you,
about
sorry, I keep cutting you
not-for-profits
off.
and whatnot.
But you're really compelled to help people. Is this because of like what you've kind of been through? It seems like your whole reach is like, I want to help people.
With my background, I think also that's a big goal of a lot of genuine artists.
Yeah.
That's
Paying
our,
it forward.
that's
Yeah.
that's kind of like the genuineness of an actual artist is
Sure.
like, because we've all been through, so that's where it all comes from.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
where all the darkness and all the greatness comes from, is from an actual place of like what we live through. So that, and I also believe on a spiritual level that our names are whispered to our parents. And my first name is Paul Michael. So Paul, small and humble, Michael of God, but also biblically, the Apostle Paul and Michael, the fighter of demons. You know, so I have a lot to live up to as a first name alone.
Sure.
So these are all just things that my brain kind of goes off into, and I think everything's not coincidence at all. I think it's very specific to each and every one of us individually.
I absolutely agree with you.
I know you do.
Oh God, he's around like his faith here. I feel it.
That's incredible.
A lot of the time on the show and stuff, I don't talk all that much about my faith because they get tired of me and they're like, enough, because I leave everything in God's hands. God's will figure it out and everything. All right, we got to take a 2 minute. Oh, we're over in 2 minutes.
No, we're almost there.
And so that was very refreshing to me because I said, he must be a person of God because your whole thing is about helping people and moving forward. And for myself as well, I have a reputation in the business. Not everyone loves me. Some people hate me, but a little hate's good. But I do have a reputation of helping people. If someone's in trouble, it's like, go to the studio, she'll help you figure it out. As a team, we'll figure it out. I'm all about team building. I have like a zero bullying policy. Everything's about like, be your authentic self. We're going to accept you as you come, no matter where you are in life. And I sense that from you, and that's so good because people like you just keep moving life forward in a positive direction. It can stop hate eventually.
Especially in an industry that is so much about using each other.
Yes.
Using other people and the manipulation and the what do I get, and it's all about what you can take rather than
But if you walk with God, I'm not going to put anything
hear
on
ya.
you. I'm not
I
throwing
hear
a
ya.
Bible at you, right? I'm not armed with the Bible. But if you walk with God, I'll just...
if you walk
and we're protected too.
with all those
We're
things
protected.
in the human spirit, the passion, courage, and benevolence. Those are three of the things that I've and just a matter of integrity and your if you walk with that and if that is who you are and how you live your life, then it's all good things.
Absolutely,
Yeah, so
I agree. 100%.
it's remarkable. I mean, you work on a 25-hour day, don't you? I mean,
I know. I'm like, how does
I
this
used
guy
to
get
say
this
I
all
work
in it?
25/8.
Yeah.
I so appreciate you here with us, Paul. I'm excited to work with you on certain projects in the future. Everything
I
about
can't
you.
wait.
I think a lot of the talent are going to watch this, and people are logging in are going to watch this, and you're very encouraging. I like this. People, if you're having a hard time, you want to be an actor, get in your car, go to LA. Promise it'll work out. God's got you. I'm not pushing
No,
God. I'm
right?
just saying.
Yeah.
Okay, God, if you need. If you need to get in touch with me, Dawn Sullivan _. That is the best way. Start blowing up my TikTok, guys. You guys got me on Instagram, and I'm so loved on Instagram. But blow up my TikTok.
Fire up that TikTok. Yeah.
My TikTok is like eh. But yes, Dawn Sullivan _. If you guys have questions, you want to come in for an appointment. You are brand new and you're scared. You don't think you're tall enough. You don't think you're skinny enough. You don't think you're pretty enough. You don't think you're a good enough actor. You're enough.
Any of those things. I thought half of that myself. She
And
turned it
he's
completely
epic.
around.
Oh my God, I almost want you to do a monologue next week. Maybe I'll have Jason do his monologue next week. He makes the most amazing psychopath. Like, this guy looks nuts. He does. I loved it. I'm not going to lie.
I'm not a psycho, but I play one on TV.
I'm not going to lie. He plays one on TV, but I literally got scared, and I was like, oh my God. I was like, maybe I don't know Jason as well as I thought I did. Like,
No
he's
way.
freaking me out.
I really shook
that. was nutty.
Okay,
Like, yeah,
that's
I was
cool.
a little nervous. I was like, no, you can leave. Somebody else walk me out. Jason freaked me out tonight. Just kidding.
So, and again, turning back around, I've definitely got more I want to learn from you too.
Yeah,
so
definitely. Thank you so much for logging in, tuning in, social media networks. I will be posting this everywhere. I will see you guys, social media shows. I will see you guys next week, same time. Jason and I are going to have a lot to talk about, more entertainment, more talent, and I'll keep you updated on the P. Diddy.